If you ruin a one of your customers' rounds because their shoes aren't comfortable, you'll probably never get them back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast. Robbie and Jonathan here. Jonathan, how are we doing today?
I'm rolling, Wyatt. I am rolling.
Rolling, Wyatt. I like it. I like it. Well, we are. This is take two of an intro that we are doing for Mike Forsey, the co-founder and president of PAYNTR Golf. The reason being, you will see in a second. We already recorded one, but some events happened in the recent weeks, and we wanted to share that with you. But before we jump into that, we want to give thanks to those that help make this podcast possible. Friends of ours, Summit Golf Brands, B. Draddy, Zero Restriction, Fairway and Greens, all those guys. If you go to any of their websites and use BestBall20, you can get 20% off your order. I'm rocking, this has to be one of my favorite pieces, the Everyday Vest.
Everyday vest.
B. Draddy. I could wear it every day. Maybe I need to get more colors. Maybe that would help. They wouldn't know I'm wearing it every day.
We've got a puffy vest now too, right? We do
have Zero Restriction.
Zero Restriction. What color is yours?
It's like a dark green.
Mine's a dark green too.
How can you tell?
Someone told me. It's not my color palette or my color vision, but someone told me it's green.
Speaking of you being colorblind, did you see there's a story about the colorblind flag guy at the old course?
What?
He's the one, I think, that on 17, when they're playing tournaments, he'll hold up like a red flag or a green flag if it's clear, like you can't see over the hotel. And so he'll hold up a flag, and he's got an R and a G like etched on it, so he knows
on there
which one.
for people that are colorblind?
Yeah, for him, because he's colorblind.
The person in charge of holding up the color flags can't see colors.
Yep.
That sounds about right.
You got to look up that story. It's pretty good.
That's
Anyway.
hilarious.
So many thanks to our friends at Summit Golf Brands. Another friend of the program, Western Birch. If you go to westernbirch.com, you can customize your golf tees. I scattered a number of them at Landman this past week. Best Ball golf tees. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, go to westernbirch.com, and if you use Best Ball in the shipping cart, you can get a gift with your order. But Jonathan, why did we want to redo this introduction of Mike Forsey with PAYNTR Golf?
Because we got boxes in the mail, and
we did.
Oh my gosh, you weren't there. You weren't home yet, so I tried them on without us talking on the phone. We have matching sets, I believe.
Yes. So in the conversation, you'll hear about it. We talked and we kind of learned more and more about their golf shoes, about the incredible technology they have. They talked about them actually being in trainers as well. So
Yep.
When you're working out, you can put that same technology into use. But then they were kind enough to ship us a pair of golf shoes and a pair of trainers. So yeah, pretty exciting.
I'm like a week away from my garage being done, and this might be the catalyst that makes me work out now.
There you go. All right, so you're pulling out the trainers there first?
Yes. So I've already worn these. I'm unboxing them for the second time. I wore them to a 5-hour football fiasco on Saturday.
Look at these things.
Blue and... Someone told me they're more green than yellow, and I just don't know if that's true. Because
These
I'm
are
colorblind.
a yellow highlighter.
They are.
That's what I think of. They're awesome.
Our game ended in the dark, so we just took my cell phone and flashed flashed my light on my shoe so everybody could see.
Yeah, I love how he talked about, and you'll learn more in the episode about the same technology they have in the golf shoe that they have in the.
You can feel it. The spring in the step, the feedback that you get while you're just walking around is astounding. Yeah, like you actually feel that insert making a difference, and my feet felt fine afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we also got a pair of golf shoes. They have spiked and spikeless, and we got the spikeless, and these are the grippiest spikeless golf shoes I think I've ever seen. Look at these things.
I put them on in my house, and I tried to like do a fake swing on a rug, and my wife made me stop because she's like, those are going to tear up our rug. For all of you out there who are sockless like me, I've already tested it. They fit just fine without a sock on, and I'm hoping this week to make it out to actually go and play. because I'm really interested to see what that little insert spring does. So,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah,
am I going to
you're gonna be hitting
become
bombs?
20 shots better because my feet stick in the ground and don't slip or do things? We'll see.
No, they're really, really cool. Painter Golf, we
And they look
appreciate
good.
that. And they look good.
They look really good.
Yeah, so check out PAYNTR. That's Painter. That's how you spell it. The one thing I like, and we talked about it again in the episode, that you and I have tried on different golf shoes, and often we will get blisters. And they have a blister, free blister, a full blister-free warranty. Like, I think that's incredible, right? If
Yeah.
you get a blister, like, call them up. Hey,
If-
they'll return it, swap it out, whatever. And he said he's never had anybody take him up on that offer. So
I know. And I'm excited to have no socks and try that out. Like literally, it feels really good. Even though they look like full leather uppers, there's an insert inside that like gives you the cushion and everything, even back to your heel. So I'm pretty excited about it.
well, we could talk for days about how good these things look. We haven't tried them out on the course yet. But we learned a lot from Mike. We think you guys will too. So y'all be sure to listen to him. He'll explain a whole lot more about the technology behind it and what they are doing. But yeah, we're really excited about it. Many thanks to Painter and Mike and his team there for hooking us up with some shoes. But y'all enjoy this episode with Mike Forsey of PAYNTR Golf. All right, joining us today on the Whole Story Podcast, a new friend from the West Coast, Mr. Mike Forsey. Mike, how are you doing today?
I am perfect. Yeah.
After a little bit of technical trouble getting this thing launched, first time for everything. But no, man, we really appreciate you coming on to tell us your story in golf and about PAYNTR Golf and all the great things that you guys are doing. But before we jump into that, we want to hear kind of your story of golf. When did you first pick up a club, fall in love with this game?
Yeah. So I was actually working for FootJoy in the early 90s, and I hadn't played golf before. So I'd been in the footwear business before I went to work for FootJoy, and I needed to figure out, what was going on the golf course. Why do the shoes need to be waterproof? Why do they, why do you have to have certain traction needs, etc.? So yeah, that was about 24, 25 years old. And now I'm 60 plus years old, and I've been a frustrated golfer for that amount of time. Yeah.
Well, you've always had good shoes. I mean, come on.
My shoes have always looked great. Yeah. So
I
Have
love
you
it.
found in the, I'm not very good at math, but let's assume it's more than 10 years doing this. Do you feel like the needs have changed in terms of what golfers are looking for?
I would say the needs haven't changed. I think footwear has evolved considerably since when I got into business. So when I say, thank you for, giving me the benefit of the doubt on 10 years. It's actually 35 years that I've been doing footwear. When I started, doing golf footwear, it was essentially a dress shoe with spikes. It was a leather, Goodyear welted construction, leather upper, leather outsole that that had a posted spike. So it was before the USGA mandate to move away from a posted spike by the governing bodies. And it was heavy. It wasn't flexible. It absorbed water. It took forever to break them in. It was just, it was brutal, and you'd never go back to that today. But, at the time, that manufacturing process and golfers had been wearing shoes like that for 60 plus years. So cement construction, making product in Asia, lighter materials, different construction has done a tremendous amount for golf shoes. That's for sure.
Do you remember what your first golf shoe was?
My first golf shoe was a 51409 FootJoy Classic, which is a white pebble grain shield tip with a little medallion perforation on the toe. Yeah. I still remember the style number 51409. So
Right.
I don't, yeah, it's just a weird thing that sticks in your head. So
Yeah,
yeah.
most people are just saying like dry joys or something like that, and you've got the like the serial number of these things.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
I love
So
it. Well, you
yeah.
talked about it looked like a dress shoe with spikes on it, and that's really, what I remember growing up. Like if you had a pair of golf shoes, it was probably an old pair of FootJoys, or I guess they weren't old then, but
Yeah.
a pair of FootJoys, and it looked like you had your Sunday dress shoes on.
Yeah.
And you throw that on when you're wearing shorts, and it kind of looks different. And I feel like style has come into play a lot with golf, and obviously comfort. I think that's where I lean to more now, like find something comfortable. But all this has evolved, and so many brands have come on the market and are trying to do these things. There's some that are trying to go the cheap route and be the cheap golf shoe out there, or something more affordable. But
Yeah.
in all this, you come up and you are a co-founder of PAYNTR Golf, one of the hottest brands on the market. You guys are doing incredible things. Obviously, the influence of Jason Day, and we'll talk about that here in a second. You got Justin Rose wearing your stuff, but talk about just the birth. What led to starting PAYNTR Golf?
Um, One of our other co-founders is David Painter. So the brand Painter was started by David, and he had a similar experience. He was a professional cricket player, and how he started the business of Painter was very similar to the conversation I just talked about. He called them wading boots. Cricket shoes in their day were wading. They were so heavy. So he started taking his trainers to a cobbler and had spikes put in them for playing cricket. And then he started doing it for his teammates. And then when he got injured and had to retire from cricket, he said, "Hey, this is a business opportunity." He reached out to me in like 2019, and he said, "Hey, I've got customers that want us to get into golf. Would you help me?" And I said, "Well, David, the last thing the world needs is another golf shoe brand." And he goes, "Just go away, figure it out, see if there's some, point of difference that we can come up with." So we kind of looked at the market, and there were two things going on, and they were like at two opposite ends of the spectrum. One was that golf shoes had turned into like a fashion item, footwear that started in other categories were brought over to golf. Nike doing the AJ1 in 12 different colors. So that was more about how the product looked, and how it wasn't necessarily about what are the needs of the golfer or what's happening biomechanically during the golf swing. But then on the other end of the spectrum, you had teaching pros and swing coaches that were talking about leveraging the ground or pushing into the ground so you can harness ground reaction forces, biomechanists that were talking about what happens biomechanically during the golf swing. So somewhere in there, we said, okay, we can look at what happens, what are the needs of the golfer on the golf course, what's happening biomechanically, and how do we design a solution for that. And I talked initially about a posted spike. Well, a posted spike could go in the ground, and it prevented rotation, and and because of the shoe is so heavy, it allowed you to push into the ground, but you wouldn't get any energy or any responsiveness back from that. So in order for the golfer or any athlete to get responsiveness or to harness ground reaction forces that they can use for club head speed, you need responsiveness, you need energy return. We use the analogy a lot about running on the beach and your feet are moving out from under you. Well, there's no responsiveness and there's no energy return. So you are working harder. So we want to give the golfer with our propulsion plate, the ability to more effectively, more efficiently harness ground reaction forces. So that's the common thread that runs on every one of our shoes. And it's obviously, it's not, and that doesn't mean that we don't think about the aesthetics of the product, but we think first and foremost about what's the function and how do we look at traction in 3-dimension, where we prevent rotation, we support horizontally, and then we give the golfer the ability to harness ground reaction forces vertically. So
all I heard was I can go from 90 to 70 if I have the right pair of shoes. That's pretty much.
That is the right takeaway.
There it is.
Well, I love how on your website it says, you view golf footwear as essential equipment. So just as important as clubs, whatever else, like it is a piece, and how you've described it with the biomechanics and things. It plays a huge role in how Jonathan is going to shoot 75, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Probably never going to happen.
Yeah. Your feet are the only thing in contact with the ground, right?
Yep.
So, if you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
My driver club head, slamming down my sand wedge, things like that.
And, what we look at is touring professionals, PGA or, and those guys have really good footwork. Right. Like they talk about Scotty having kind of this funky footwork, but he is in the right place at the right time. He's pushing. You look at the smallest guys on tour, like JT or even Rory, he's a little guy, but he squats, he pushes into the ground, and it's Newton's third law, right? So it's for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You push into the ground, you're getting that back in energy return and responsiveness that you can, we just want to give the golfer the ability to do that in a more efficient manner. That's all. So.
How do you balance, or is there a balance, or how does technology assist in the sense of like you're trying to create the best golf swing, but then we also love a game that's going to make you walk 8 miles, right? Like that. Unless you're on a cart, which a lot of people do, but there's lots of courses and places that are aspirational or bucket list places. You're going on this golf trip. Robbie and I just went over to the old course and we played for 5 days, and I think we totaled up 40 plus miles. So how do you work that into?
I just did that at Sand Valley in 3 days, and it was 36 miles. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is, we talk about who we compete against are those companies that they'll give you traction to walk the course. Mm-hmm. But then, and if God forbid if you were to slip when you're walking the course.
Sure.
But if you slip during the golf swing, that's going to adversely affect your score, right? So what we look at is, if you look at all of our outsole technology is about preventing rotation. It's about, so there's on the lateral forefoot and medial heel, there's more of a chevron shape to our outsoles, right? This one probably shows it better. And it's where you need it. So it's preventing rotation. That's when you're going to rotate. Your feet are going to rotate out from under you. You're going to slip. And you could miss a shot. You could miss a green. You're going to short side yourself, or you're not going to be able to get up and down. And then we want to support weight shift wise, because your weight is going to shift if you're a right-handed golfer, lateral outside heel, you follow through lateral outside heel again. So we want to support there. And then the push is that vertical push that we've talked about. So we look at, traction for the golf swing, and then the other nub details that are on our outsole, it's more of a penetrating nub, a smaller, rounder penetrating nub to walk the course. So we kind of address both, but then, you guys just mentioned you're walking the course. Golfers spend more time in their shoes than, think about this, than athletes in any other sport. So if you run, you might run for an hour if you're a good runner. If you play basketball, you might play for an hour. You're in your shoes for 4 or 5 hours. Tour players are in their shoes for 10 or 12 hours. So your shoes have to be comfortable. So when we're looking at designing and developing product, we look at, so it's comfort in order of priority. This is what golfers look for: comfort, traction, and waterproofing. Comfort, because you spend more time in your shoes than athletes in any other sport. So comfort could be the fit of the product, underfoot cushioning, the environment inside the shoe, the weight of the product, the flexibility of the product. All of those things contribute to the overall comfort. So when we're choosing materials or construction or, putting the whole thing together, we're thinking about comfort and then traction. So, and then all of our shoes are waterproof. So that's but comfort is, if you ruin one of your customers' rounds because their shoes aren't comfortable, you'll probably never get them back. So we think about it in everything that we do. We think about comfort first. So
I'm at this point in my age and preferences that comfort is the first thing that I think about when I look for a new golf shoe, because I do love to walk when I play, and I have been guilty, admitting this in front of you is kind of embarrassing, of going the cheap route sometimes, finding what's on sale, finding whatever, and walking away. I played with my son recently. This was, maybe early in the summer. I tried some brand, and by the 9th hole, I took my shoes off because I had worn such a horrible blister that I couldn't do it anymore. And so I threw them in the bag, and I just walked barefoot the whole time.
Oh my. That's not a good experience.
No,
That's not good.
And they unfortunately I had passed the return date and couldn't even get them back. So they are sitting in the never to be worn again pile.
I've got the same experience. I don't wear socks ever, and I bought a pair of golf shoes that were supposed to be not worn with socks on purpose. And by the 3rd hole walking, I take them off. I had the worst blister I've ever had. And I do everything with no socks on. So it's not like my feet get blisters with all sorts of things. But I would like to say I'm trying to listen to you, but I'm also distracted by all the shoes behind you. What's the high top shoe? I don't think I've ever seen the high top shoe.
Okay.
And listen, if you're on the podcast and you're not switched over to YouTube yet, you got to go over to YouTube. This is awesome.
So this
Look at
is
that.
Look at that.
So we have this in a couple of different men's and women's, but we have it in a low top that's spikeless, and then we have it in a high top that's spiked.
I've never seen a
this
high top
came
golf shoe.
This came from we have a training shoe that has the same technology, the same propulsion plate technology. So we showed this to Jason Day, and he said, "Can you make me a high top in that?"
Oh.
And so we did, and so this is. We have learned that if we want Jason to wear something, we tell him not to wear it. So remember the lost luggage outfit that he wore at Pebble Beach? He wore this with that lost luggage, which he was not, because we didn't go to retail with this until a month ago, but he wore it 6 months ago. So yeah, he wore it at Pebble. So this is a high top, full grain leather, has the same, propulsion plate, has the same, technology. But it's a really fun shoe. Yeah, that's cool.
Pretty cool. What's the market looking like in terms of cleats versus not cleats, right? Because so many folks are now taking golf shoes off the golf course, right? We wear them just for regular shoes in real life, even if we never intend on playing golf in them.
Yeah, it's still like 65% spikeless. So it's still here. Mm-hmm. And, the traction options now, especially from PAYNTR Golf, the traction options are so much better. You used to have to sacrifice on traction, but now you can wear this from your house, in your car. You might hit balls beforehand, go to the 19th hole afterwards. You can wear it for a long time. So we talk about traction that's more versatile here. And then we talk about traction with a spiked outsole that's more renewable, so you can replace the spikes and refresh your traction. So.
I played with a guy recently who had a pair of your shoes on, and he was talking about the Kevlar He said they were the most comfortable shoes he'd ever had, and threw out the word Kevlar in there. Is that part of what's building the support?
It's not Kevlar, it's graphite. Hold on.
He tried to sell it for you.
Yeah, well, I wish it was Kevlar, but so this is our propulsion plate.
Okay.
It's from a company here in Washington called Carbitex, and it flexes in one direction and it's stable in the other. So it doesn't flex in that. That gives you the propulsion. So, and we always suspend any of our propulsion plates like 10 or 12 millimeters off the ground so you get that springboard effect. So, yeah, it's not Kevlar.
That should make us play faster too, right? Because we're propelling ourselves down the fairways a lot quicker.
Correct. You are correct. We actually see this. We mold it up at a 30-degree angle, and when you step, that pushes it down. And then when you transition to your step, it actually gives you a little energy boost to the next step. So,
well, clearly, this technology is not just because you do golf shoes. So, talk about maybe some of the history for those who are listening to obviously pay attention to golf. Sometimes we look at new golf brands and think, well, what do they know about shoes? Besides your 12 years of shoe experience, where you kind of alluded to it. Paynter got started long before golf was in their sphere. What does that look like for the rest of the market or the rest of what you guys do?
Yeah. So Paynter Golf is now like 10 times the size of the Paynter brand.
Okay.
And it's now Paynter Golf. We also just recently purchased the IP of Paynter brand, and that sits within Paynter Golf now. The technology we actually got, we were inspired by this propulsion plate technology. We were inspired by running shoe technology. So, but that's more like heel to toe, propulsion from heel to toe, more in the linear. We're obviously more of a lateral sport, but it's the push that we really wanted, the springboard effect, responsiveness that we wanted to bring to golf. So,
has the golf professional world, because in the running world there are limits to what your shoes can and cannot do.
That is correct.
Has the golf gods or the people in charge of the golf world started looking at feet going, man, we're going to roll this ball back, but these guys their shoes are so good? Because I mean, the reality is, if you're looking at it from the ground up, I'm assuming you guys have the technology and you could tell me it's a 3% difference if it does this versus that. Have they started interjecting themselves into your space yet to sort of control that?
Let's hope that nobody from the USGA is listening to this broadcast. But you're right. You know about the running shoe technology that we took inspiration from was actually banned by the running governing bodies.
Right.
They made the company that launched that make it available for all of their competitors. So it's open technology, it's open IP. So we are able to do that. Now we took it and applied it for golf, and we put it in a cavity, right? So we always window it. The cavity actually adds since you're not like 5 times body weight when you're running, you're not able to get that same responsiveness. You're just pushing into the ground. So it's like 1.5 times body weight that you're pushing into the ground. Now for us, that cavity mechanically opens when you put pressure on it. When it closes, you get that back in energy return. Yeah. So that's why we've put a cavity. We kind of combine the cavity, and then we always sandwich this propulsion plate between 2 layers of cushioning foam, just like those running shoe brands were. But that open technology, we owe our success to whoever the running governing bodies are that decided that that's giving that competitor an unfair advantage versus his competition. So thank you for doing that, because it inspired us. That's for sure.
I remember that coming out. I think it was the sub 2 hour marathon where they broke all the actual rules of what you can do in terms of pacers and a line on the wall. But one of them was the fact that the shoes that they were wearing were not within the confines of a regulated race. So
That is absolutely correct.
yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Now it's about height too. They've actually limited how much in a road race, how much your cushioning foam, the height of it. So you can still do the propulsion plate. It's about the
Spacing
stack
between.
that you can. Yeah. So
well, it seems like you guys, I don't want to say have perfected it, but how do you continue to improve on a great product and a great solution that you have now?
I think the fact that we believe in the technology and it's in every one of our shoes, spikeless, men's, women's. Even in our women's product, we make the midsole softer so that the smaller frame of a woman doesn't have to work harder to get the same responsiveness and energy return. But if you think about, there's no other company that takes one technology and puts it across their entire line. They might try one technology in this collection of shoes and one technology in another. And like our spike placement is all the same. Our outsole with our spikeless outsole with our nub placements all the same. So we don't have to, we've established it, we know it works, and then we can continue to refine it. We can use different materials. Like, for example, what we did for Jason in the Speed Classic, the midsole and the footbed is nitrogen infused EVA. So nitrogen gas is the same gas that's in airplane tires. It's a bigger molecule, so it takes up more space, so it's lighter in weight. But then nitrogen, when you put pressure on it, it becomes more stable. Becomes more stable when you need it, and then more responsive when you need it. So you're thinking about airplane tires landing an aircraft, and we're doing that here. So we've now just taken, what was that midsole and that energy return, and we've just, used a different material to get a better result from it. So,
We don't have to lose weight, Robbie. They've already fixed it for us. Like it's completely fine. Keep
all,
the 30.
all I need is I just need nitrogen in my shoes, and I'll be lighter.
Apparently, it'll work just fine. I'm just picturing like behind this row of shoes are just a bunch of mad scientists in lab coats, and I'm assuming you've got all those little like micro sensors and everything, so people are walking in it, and you're seeing the transition of power and everything else.
In our design center, we do have force platforms.
Oh yeah.
So,
Of course.
yeah. So, but I mean, it helps when we focus just on golf shoes. We're both now, Michael, who's our creative director and other co-founder, it helps that the only thing we're doing is golf footwear. We're not a big, that has multiple categories. We focus on golf shoes. So that helps a ton.
Yeah. Well, and I guess, the style component comes into play as well, right? So you've got great technology, great product, and then, one of the things a lot of people want is for them to look really good. And everyone you held up in front of the camera and the ones we see behind you look outstanding. So I imagine, how does that play, maybe with Michael and on his side? I don't know if he's the one that's picking colors and fabric or whatever else, but how does that play into it?
We work together on that, and it comes from, we started when the market was basically more like athletic inspired, where the color blocking, all the materials that we're using, even down to like a highly perforated tongue or an Achilles notch on the back of the, on this particular style. So we kind of started here, and then Jason came along and said, hey, I want something that's more classic. So then that's what we brought. So we call this Speed Performance, the athletically inspired product. We call this Speed Classic. And then we have a new collection that's coming in spring called Speed Reserve. So this is this is also that shoe that with the high top, that's in the Speed Reserve collection too. So it's kind of like it's either a different construction or we couldn't figure out, does it fall in sport or classic? So we started another silo called the Speed Reserve. So this one happens to be this mock welt construction. So I mentioned early when we started the conversation, Goodyear welt construction is you take a Goodyear welt, stitch it to the upper, and then you stitch the Goodyear welt to the outsole. Cement construction is you're just sticking it to the upper. Where mock welt is, it gives the perception that it's a Goodyear welt, so it's more classic, but it's still cement construction. So it's still lightweight, it's still flexible, but man, it finishes nicely. So very classic.
Good.
My kids,
All of them have the same, propulsion plate technology. So when you start there, you can kind of build up from there, and you can do all kinds of different fun stuff, different materials, and so forth. So
my kids just asked me how many shoes I own, and this is going to be a problem.
well, I can tell you that I'm sample size and have worked for multiple different companies, so I probably have more shoes than you.
Well, yeah, I've never worked for a shoe company. That's probably I think that's the problem. I've never worked for a shoe company, and yet here I am.
I love it.
You guys mentioned the this is something that I know you guys will appreciate. You guys both mentioned that you had an experience with blisters.
Yeah.
Okay. So blisters historically happen from it's about friction, right? Mm-hmm. Or if there's a seam. So this is traditional top line and internal, external counter construction. So there's the lining, the foam, the internal counter, the external counter, and then the upper. So there's 5 different materials. You're stitching them all together because this is a cut and sew product. What we do with this is called our 004. We take all of those things, all of those components that I just mentioned, and we mold it together as one seamlessly. So this shoe, we have it in both spiked and spikeless, right? That way, sorry. Show it to you the right way. Spikeless. Comes with a blister-free warranty. First shoe on the market.
Wow.
So we launched this in first shoe in the market that came with a blister-free warranty in the box. We launched this in December of 22. We've never had a warranty claim come in for that. So
even for people that don't wear socks.
I don't know about that.
See, I know.
Yeah.
There's shoes that work though.
Small fine print, Jonathan.
You never wear socks. Never.
I never wear socks. No.
So you play hockey as a kid?
No. I lived overseas as a kid, and then honestly, I started. It's my entrepreneur story. I realized that if I was wearing socks, and then someone else was in charge of my day, and I wanted to create a life that I didn't have to wear socks. And now I've flipped over now. Now my goal is to always have tan feet. Because if you've got tan feet, you've had a good week, right? Like you've never had, right? Like you've had a really good week. And so my goal is now that I always have tan feet. So, but yeah, I wear tennis shoes. I coach football. I'm out there in whatever shoes I'm wearing out there, no socks. I play golf. Every single round has no socks involved. No.
Well, we'll send each of you one of these, and you guys, since you've
that'd
had
be great.
Yeah, spiked or spikeless, you just let me know.
I've got to talk to my wife about ordering her the shoes.
Yeah.
I need to have a yard sale so I get rid of all my other shoes, and then it won't look like I've got too many.
There you go. Well,
no, so I asked you about that if you play hockey, because hockey players they don't historically. I played hockey as a kid, and I didn't wear socks. Yeah,
I played baseball as a catcher, and I always wore 2 pairs of socks. So, I mean, I'm assuming I haven't put on a pair of baseball cleats in a long time. I'm assuming if I had to put on some cleats, I'd probably have a pair of socks. But and I gave up running a long time ago because that just sounds miserable and it hurts me. So,
why do that to yourself?
Right, exactly.
So, talk about Jason Day. We've referenced him a couple times. How did you guys start first working with him, and then the impact that he has had on your business?
Oh, the impact has been phenomenal. We started working with him because we were, as part of the Wasserman group, we were working and trying to secure another athlete that was in the Wasserman family. And Bud Martin, Jason's agent, after that one kind of fell apart, Bud goes, hey, we've got this situation with Jason. His contract's going to come up pretty soon. And he's looking to do something different because his prior two brands were big box kind of sporting goods brands that he would go to a tournament and he would look like 10 or 12 other guys on that particular week or that particular day. So that's why he ended up with Malbon. And we were exploring, okay, we need to take what was in the speed performance and we need to kind of, look to round out our line and do something more classic. The market was going more classic. So Bud reached out to us and said, would you be willing to work with Jason and listen to his ideas on what he wants his golf footwear to look like? And we're like, no problem. Like, why wouldn't we listen to him?
Right.
It just makes for, more of this rich storytelling, from an athlete at the highest level within golf, former number one. And he's different than other athletes that both Mike and I have worked with, in that he's in it like every day. Like he's in the trenches every day. He is on an ongoing text exchange with Mike Glancy, our creative director, daily. Like anything inspires him. The gator print shoe that we just recently launched, that comes from a handbag that he purchased for his wife. And hey, took a picture of it. Can we look at bringing this to market? I don't know if you remember when we first got together with Jason and did his 87 shoe, he wanted Proto put on the side because of he didn't want us to kind of listen to him, go away, come back and, have a shoe for him or have a sample for him. He wanted people that follow him and his fans to know that he was working with us to develop something new. So he wanted Proto, and he actually took a Sharpie on some of the shoes that we had sent him initially and wrote on the side of the shoe, Proto. And we're like, hey, that'd be pretty good. We can do better than the Sharpie.
Right.
But it was about he was our wear tester. So normally you open up you start something in a men's size 9, a women's size 7. Well, right from the get-go, in everything that we did in Speed Classic, we did 9 and 11 and a half. So he was our wear tester. And he was our wear tester like on every round of samples. There were times like there's a story that we don't like to tell that often, that he got a shoe Wednesday of the Masters, and we just said, it had a new propulsion plate. We don't know what it's like, so please don't put it in play. He goes, I'll put it in play tomorrow. So Thursday, got us a little nervous. Thursday, this was 2 years ago, Thursday of the Masters, first day of competition, he puts a prototype in play. So he's just awesome to work with. We've gone to his home in Ohio and worked with him there, and Bud's great and Jason's great, but he is fully engaged in the process, which is awesome. Yeah.
That is great, especially because you say, and I've never really thought about it, that golfers are in their shoes so much more than any other athlete. And someone like Jason Day, who's maybe the grinder of all grinders and trying to get better at this game. What a great partner to have.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, he's awesome. He's great. So
yeah,
we're lucky.
Well, what's next for PAYNTR? I mean, besides continuing to develop awesome product.
That's a good question. We've kind of gone from just US based distribution A couple of years ago, we expanded we have distributors in Japan, Korea, Southeast Asia, Australia, New Zealand, UK, and Europe, South Africa. So more global expansion. We got into training footwear a few years ago, training for the sport of golf. We found you think about everybody on the PGA Tour, they're in the gym as much as they're, out hitting balls. So we've taken that technology. It correlates really well with, you can run, you can move laterally in the gym in our product, but the propulsion plate technology definitely works there. I think the next step for us is, we've focused on green grass distribution here, not only in North America, but that kind of the grassroots, we want to get to the pro, assistant pro at, public and private courses. I think our next step is moving more into, national specialty sporting goods, retail locations. And, we almost have too many styles in our line. But, it's all we do. So it keeps us busy, keeps us out of trouble. And yeah,
somebody finds a new color of crayon, and you're like, let's see what this one looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Our creative director, my partner, I don't think he ever sleeps. Like, yeah, he has, I don't know, just so much energy. And our factory partner has said to him on multiple occasions, "Go to bed. Will you please go to bed?" And this is his time, not their time. He's like 2 a.m, working with our partner in Asia. So, yeah.
Do you have different designs in terms of style based on different countries? Because obviously there are different appetites in terms of what that looks like.
Yeah. So for Japan, Korea, Southeast Asia, everything is a dial closure. So everything is, we call it fast fit.
Right.
BOA. Everything, like you'd be hard pressed to up on the wall find a traditional lace closure system, and then we do a different last for that customer as well. So
very interesting.
Yeah.
I like the thought of, as you're doing training shoes as well, that it's still golf focused, and that's really interesting. Jonathan and I have been doing a course correction series, and I've been working with a trainer, and so going to the gym a lot more than I ever have been, at least in the last probably 20 years. But yeah, thinking of how, and we're doing golf specific exercises, but man, just wearing regular tennis shoes versus actually something that would translate, from the gym to the course. So that is very.
Let me show you our. Sorry, I didn't have this within reach though, but so this is the propulsion plate. We can actually touch it. So it has the carbon plate in there, right? The upper is a woven jacquard. So there's probably times in the gym that you're there in a running shoe.
All the time.
Right. But think about running, like we talked about before, it's heel to toe. So if you're doing any kind of movement that's lateral, or even like box jumps or skaters, right? You're moving in the lateral direction. So when we say this is a woven jacquard, you can actually, I don't know if you can see it in this one or not. There's actually TPU threads that run across the shoe for lateral stability, and then nylon thread that runs heel to toe. So you get the lightweight flexibility. So it's runnable. It's built on a training last, but the toe spring in the heel to toe offset is that of a running shoe. And this has the nitrogen infused midsole and footbed, and you still have the propulsion plate, rubber, flexible, multiple colors in this, men's, women's. So
that looks really good.
Oh,
it's great.
That yellow.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. Oh, very nice. So let me ask an important shoe question for those that might be listening. How do they fit to size? Like, I think we're a 12, but a lot of times I'm in a 12 and a half. Sometimes I'm even having to grab a 13 just for maybe a little extra room in the toe box area. So do you guys fit pretty true to size?
Well, it depends. So there's no that's the thing about footwear. There's no like universal fit.
Yeah.
There's, like just like in apparel, there's no uniform, block or uniform. There's no like size large is a size large with everybody. Our last is if you had to compare it, it depends on it. It would be this if you were comparing us to a FootJoy, we would be a little smaller. Compared to a Nike, we would be a little larger. So it depends on what you're coming off of. The stick length of our last is pretty traditional. It's pretty true to size, but it all depends on what you've worn and what what your history of golf footwear is. So
Makes a lot of sense.
yeah. So
Very nice.
sorry, I didn't have a better answer for that, but
No, I guess we'll have to maybe just order multiple pairs. How about
Right.
there you go.
that? There we go. Oh, this is fascinating. I feel like we could ask about golf shoes and about all the great things you guys are doing. But I do want to ask a couple more things about your game as we start to wrap up. One question we ask every one of our guests is the story of your most memorable golf shot.
Hole in one. I have one. Yeah. 7-iron at my club. Par three third hole at our club. And I didn't see it go in. There was somebody on the tee box above me. The guy I was playing with said, "I think that went in." I'm like, no way. I've been close before. No way. Sure enough, it went in. So fun day. Yeah.
Nice.
I love it. That's pretty good for a guy that didn't grow up playing golf. I've played a long time, and I still have not gotten one yet. So.
No, I'm a hockey player. So yeah, I'm a hockey player playing golf. So
You're Happy Gilmore. I got it.
Should have got Happy Gilmore to be a shoe sponsor for Billy number 2. Give us some PAYNTR Golfs. Well, another thing that we like to do is what we call the quick 9. So I think Robbie's going to get us started off with this one.
Yeah. What's the favorite course that you've ever played?
Bandon Dunes. Yeah, right here in our backyard. But
As I
yeah,
said, just up the road.
What a place to have close by, huh?
Yeah, could play it. Yeah, forever. Love it.
They've
The
got
original.
I was going to say they've got lots of options. Which one? The original?
Bandon Dunes, the original.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is on your bucket list course?
Pine Valley.
It's on a lot of bucket lists.
What's funny is I leave tomorrow for Northern Ireland for 10 rounds in 12 days. So Royal Port Rush is on the bucket list, and it's going to get checked off on day 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you going all over?
Yeah, we're going to fly into Dublin and then do Northern Ireland. Yeah.
Okay. So you're not going to get over to Cairn?
No.
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 It's, Jonathan and I got to experience that one back in April, and it was outstanding. So, but that was the only one we played in Ireland. We need to go back.
This isn't on the question, but how many pairs of shoes are you taking with you?
3.
3?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
3? Like, are those specific for what you're trying?
I actually have one that's this color in our 002. So, I want to make a statement. I want to be distracting for my playing partners. I am I'm wear testing this pair of shoes. And then for my, the dress up shoe is the black gator style in moving day. Yeah.
That is a good question. How many shoes you take on a golf trip?
I'm the golf footwear guy. I can't show up with one battered.
Listen, if I had a wall of shoes behind me and we were going on, I would literally have a different pair of shoes and a different color to coordinate with all the different clothes that I took with me too. Every outfit. If I'm playing 10 rounds, I'd have 10 pairs of shoes, and every single one would be color matched. It's like, what is it whenever, I don't know if you guys, I'm assuming you're a part of the process, right? The pros, whenever they get, Robbie, what's that term called? Scripted. Do you guys help you script out, like, what color shoes are going to be played out on what day, or do they just wear, like, white?
I'm going to play it. I'm not scripted. I'm going to play it by the pale neon ones, though. That's going to be a rainy day. That's for sure. So,
well, they're all waterproof. Good news.
so you'd bring 10 pair of shoes, but no socks. Is that what you're saying?
Well, if I had the amount of shoes that you have available, yes. Last time I went, I took one pair of shoes for the entire trip. I only wore one pair of shoes, walked everywhere, did everything in just those shoes. But if I had the shoe collection or the shoe options that you had, I would absolutely have 10 pairs of shoes to match every color outfit that I need to do. Because you got lots of color options too.
You got a lot of options.
Yeah.
A lot of options. All right, back to the quick nine. Best course that no one knows about.
That I've played, or that I think is the best course that
that you've played.
My home course is pretty good. It's Oswego Lake Country Club. It's a pretty good club. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Scott Brooks, a friend of ours, Pacific Northwest golfer. I've seen some pictures of that place from him.
Okay.
All right. Who is in your dream foursome?
Tiger, Jordan Spieth, Ben Crenshaw. Yeah.
And Jason Day's there caddying for you.
Jason Day would, if we could play as a fivesome. Jason mix, yeah.
And it's your dream. You can bring a fivesome.
And if Tiger shows up, he probably gets what he wants at a golf course. So
yeah, so most hole in front of us open, hole behind us.
That's right.
Open. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, what's your walk-up song to the first tee?
Good question. I have the most eclectic. My wife says I've got just weird. I got everything from like Green Day to like country stuff on my playlist. So I don't even know if I could choose. So
yeah, whatever's up next. I like it.
Yeah.
What is the favorite club in the bag?
7-iron. Hole in one.
I was going to say, did you get the 7-iron?
Gotta be.
Yeah, got to be the one. Yeah. Did you keep that club in your rotation, or did you mount it on the wall with the ball?
Same. It's the same iron set. Yeah. I have kept the ball, but the club stays in
the bag.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
All
right. Favorite snack on the golf course?
Jerky. Yeah.
Excellent choice.
At our club, it's homemade jerky, so it's pretty good.
Homemade jerky.
Yeah.
Is that included in a
round
round
of golf? Speaking Jonathan's love language.
Is that included in a round of golf? Like everybody gets a free stick of jerky as you come in?
No. It is at the halfway house though, so it's right there waiting for you, and it's like a hole and a half beforehand. You can't wait to get there, so it's good.
Yeah, listen. I'm so hungry right now. All right, favorite golf course logo.
Goodness. Wingfoot. It's pretty good.
Yeah, always a good option.
Yeah.
Robbie seemed to have glitched here, so we'll ask the last question. Finish this sentence. The best part of golf is
hanging out with your buddies. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We say the same thing. No matter what shoes you're wearing, no matter how many clothes you've got as options, 10 days of golf is all about hanging out with your buddies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
4.5 hours laughing.
Right.
Yeah. And you're playing for like $1, and it, think you're playing for, a player's check.
That's right.
It's definitely the time you get to spend with your buddies. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
very nice.
Where can people find your stuff, Mike? So if we want to buy 10 pairs of shoes for our 10 rounds of golf, where do we start?
Well, there you go. We have socks too. Remember that.
Yeah. If you want socks, they offer good socks.
There you go.
Carbon fiber lined socks.
No. Well, we have our own website, PAYNTRGolf.com, but we're also in 700 green grass accounts in North America, PGA Tour Superstore, Golf Galaxy, Dick's Sporting Goods, Worldwide Golf, So yeah, you wouldn't have to look too hard to find our products. So
You can also message Mike directly on Instagram. He's got a whole wall. He'll gladly fill your order.
it's just a half pair, though. There's no full pair.
You get the left shoe of every pair.
Exactly. I got all left.
Half price.
Yeah. Half price. Well, Mike, this has been a lot of fun. We really appreciate you taking some time before your Ireland golf trip to join us on the Whole Story podcast.
You got it. You got it.
Yep.
And we'll get some stuff out to you. I'm gonna email you guys, and we'll make sure that we get you some good product out to you. Okay.
That sounds great. No, be happy to do it. Yeah. So for Mike and Jonathan, this is Robbie, and you have been listening to another episode of the Whole Story podcast.